Hello and welcome to the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program's webinar. Tonight we will be focusing on our Biosciences and Engineering Institute. So we have tried to record not only a general webinar on the Summer Immersion Program, but we are also diving in to get a little bit more specific about each of our individual Summer Immersion Institutes. So tonight I'm excited to have Megan Rudock, our academic leader for Biosciences and Engineering, here with me. Before we begin, I would like to introduce our staff. So my name is Betsy Schneider. I am the Assistant Director of Pre-College Programs here at Wake Forest University. In addition to myself, we have Kyla Hollingsworth, who is our Executive Director, Donovan Livingston, who is our Program Manager, as well as Elizabeth Phillips, who is joining me here tonight to help answer questions. She is our administrative coordinator. So a small team, but we love what we do, and we are excited to meet all of you this summer. I'm just going to give a quick overview of the different summer programs that we will be offering in 2019 coming up this summer. The majority of our programs, as you can see on the slide, are based in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That is our main campus, our undergraduate campus known as the Renolda campus. So on the Winston-Salem campus this summer, we will host the Biosciences and Engineering Institute, the Business Institute, dance, debate and public advocacy, documentary film, health and exercise science, health and well-being, law, leadership, medicine, neuroscience, policy and politics, psychology, sports medicine, technology, and visual arts. Many of those programs are being offered twice. Some of them are only being offered once. I recommend checking out our website to see which ones are offered twice and which ones are offered only once. In Charlotte, our programs are hosted at the Wake Forest Charlotte Center. It's an uptown campus that is used as an MBA program for the majority of the time, but in our Charlotte campus, we will host the Entrepreneurship Institute, the Medicine Institute, and the Sports Business Institute. So just a brief overview about summer immersion and what students can expect before we learn and dive a little bit more deeply into the Biosciences and Engineering Institute. Students can expect fascinating course material. Students are led by academic leaders who are experts in their field and know a ton about the subject matter. Daily field trips, we try to get students out of the classroom and out into the real world to see how the subject matter plays out in the real world. We pride ourselves on allowing students to go behind the scenes in many organizations and different businesses. Another thing that students can expect is our similarly motivated peers from all over the world. Students come to Wake Forest over the summer to learn something new. They are passionate, driven, curious, and excited about being on campus. They ask really great questions, and so it's always fun to see and to have a group of students come together to learn something new. Students also get one-of-a-kind experiences and challenging discussions throughout the course of the summer. So now I am really excited to introduce our academic leader for the Biosciences and Engineering Institute, Dr. Megan Rudock. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Wake Forest, and I will turn it over to Megan now. She's going to talk a little bit more about her background, her experience, and her research here at Wake Forest, and even before that.
Thanks, Betsy. So again, I'm Dr. Megan Rudock. It's my third year with the Biosciences and Engineering Institute and the Summer Immersion Program. I've been teaching at Wake Forest in the chemistry department for 8 years now. However, I joined the Wake Forest family back in 2002 after completing my degree in chemistry at University of Georgia. Part of the reason that I have so much fun with this program and am really excited to be the academic leader for this program, is that I've had a wide variety of experiences at Wake Forest and in my professional life, and have made a lot of connections at Wake Forest from attending Wake Forest as a graduate student back beginning in 2002 in the Department of Biochemistry, getting my PhD in molecular genetics, working in human population genetics, and working with folks in quite a few different departments during my time in graduate school, and then moving and becoming a postdoctoral research fellow in public health science and working in genetic epidemiology. And since I've been here over the past 16 or 17 years, I've worked with people from almost 20 different departments across Wake Forest Baptist Health, the graduate school, and the undergraduate campus. And in developing a lot of these relationships and seeing all the exciting things going on across all of these departments, I feel very fortunate to be able to share these experiences with the students that come into our program during the summer and share with them the vast array of opportunities that are available at Wake Forest, give them the opportunity to meet a lot of people from a lot of different fields in science and engineering, folks who do research, folks who teach, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm very, very excited to share some of my knowledge and experience with you all and introduce you to a lot of great people that we have here at Wake Forest.
The week that we will be hosting the Biosciences and Engineering Institute will be July 7th through 12th, as well as July 14th through 19th. And like we mentioned previously, we are hosting them on the main campus in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Our Biosciences and Engineering Institute is a residential program, so that means that students will live on campus. They will stay in Wake Forest dorms. This summer, we will be staying in South Residence Hall, which is a nicer freshman dorm on campus. Students will get the opportunity to eat in the dining halls and really just feel what it is like to be a Wake Forest student for a week.
So the Bioscience and Engineering Institute covers a lot of different fields. As you can imagine, given especially the name Biosciences and Engineering, it's a pretty broad description. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the different topics that we'll discuss, some of the different fields that you'll be exposed to, give you a little bit of an idea of what the schedule might be like during the week that you would spend at Wake Forest. This is a great opportunity to live, eat, stay, study, and experience campus just like a Wake Forest student would. So while you're here, we hope to expose you to a lot of different areas in science, in biosciences, and engineering. There's a new engineering program, degree program here at Wake Forest that is very, very popular and that we want to kind of highlight during the week as well. So while you're here, we're going to dive into some of the basic sciences: biochemistry, molecular biology, engineering, chemistry, biology, microbiology, maybe touch even a little bit on physics, just to give you an idea of all of the science that's being done on the undergraduate campus. In addition to that, though, there are amazing labs and opportunities and experiences available within the Wake Forest family as well. So we'll go and visit regenerative medicine. The Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine is a leading center in the world in regenerative medicine. And so it's an excellent place to go and see the cutting edge research that's being done there. We'll talk a little bit about different careers in biosciences and different paths that you can take to get there, and see some examples of clinical versus foundational research, talk a little bit more about biomedical engineering since it's becoming such a large field, and people are very interested in pursuing degrees in biomedical engineering. And then kind of where does this all go? We want to talk a little bit about the progression of science from basic science and doing scientific research and all the way through developing that into translational science and even into industry. So while you're here, we'll do a lot of different types of experiences. We have lots of hands-on experiences. We spend some time doing some lab rotations early in the week just to get a view of what's going on at Wake Forest, do a little bit of hands-on work looking at some of the labs that we have at Wake, learning from some of the different faculty members in science here at Wake Forest. So we'll do some lab rotations. We'll spend a day in the life of a Wake Forest student looking at, some of the things that a science major might experience at Wake, doing a lab, synthesizing aspirin and wintergreen in the lab. We'll do some class rotations to see, what's the kind of material that students, are covering in class, how are classes handled, what are the activities that might be done in class. We're anticipating this year kind of expanding our engineering offerings and spending a whole day on engineering since a lot of students that come to this program are very much interested in engineering. And we'll do some activities with engineering that Wake students do when they join the engineering program here on campus. We'll also see some of this translational research and how research is translated into industry by doing a field trip to Cook Medical and visiting with some of the folks there. So it's a really fun week. We'll do some tours, we'll do some field trips, we'll do a lot of hands-on activities. And I think it's a week that planned for students to get a full immersive experience into all that Wake Forest has to offer.
Great. So thank you so much, Megan, for kind of giving us an overview of the Biosciences and Engineering Institute. Now we were going to open it up for a few questions that we've received. So the first question is, how much time during the week is spent on biosciences versus engineering?
Well, Betsy, we try and create a pretty good balance since we are trying to give students an overview of everything that we have at Wake Forest and hopefully not overwhelm them too much. This year we're going to spend a whole day on engineering and touch on it a little bit maybe earlier in the week. So in trying to kind of provide a full experience of biosciences and engineering, we try and split the week up pretty well between the two.
Great, thank you for that. Another question we've received is, do students need to bring any special materials when they come and attend the Biosciences and Engineering Institute?
So in attending the Biosciences and Engineering Institute, it's helpful to bring a laptop. I'll be posting some handouts and things on a Google Drive that we can share with you all. We also do a little bit of, early in the week, we do a little bit of resume development and talk about what is the best way to present yourself as you're applying for colleges, as you're applying for, internships and things like that. So it's helpful to have a laptop. Also, since we are doing some lab experiments, it's very important to bring pants and closed-toed shoes for when you're in the lab. It's required for safety, and so we will need students to be able to bring those things.
All right, this last question, do students need prior knowledge, or do they need to have taken classes in biosciences or engineering before coming and attending the institute?
I would say that you really don't need any prior knowledge. It's, you know, obviously it would be helpful if you've taken some science classes before, just to have a general idea of some of the things that we're talking about, but we really try and provide plenty of background information in discussing any of the topics, so that there really is no need for prior knowledge. We recognize that a lot of the things that we're going to be introducing you to, you know, may not be things that you've talked about before. They may not be subject materials that are available at your high school, and that's completely fine. We're thrilled to have anyone who is interested in learning more about science, about bioscience, about engineering, biomedical engineering, come in and participate in our program and get a feel for, you know, the different subject materials that are available and the different things that are available here at Wake Forest, and get excited with us about our school and about our departments.
Awesome. Well, I think that was a great conclusion to our institute, or our Biosciences and Engineering Institute webinar. If anyone has any additional questions about the Biosciences and Engineering Institute or about the Summer Immersion program in general, feel free to email myself or Elizabeth Phillips. Our contact information is on the screen right there, so feel free to email us or call us anytime. We are happy to talk to you about our program. With that, I would like to just close out and say thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you this summer.